to action. Insights alone won't move the needle, action does. Epiphany to action is the podcast for executives, entrepreneurs, and decision makers who don't just want to think about change, but let it.
Many executives, if you're working at C-level, if you're an entrepreneur, successful, especially most of us are successful doing what we're doing, moving how we're moving. And you have people looking up to you, hanging on you, expecting you to give, and without reciprocation. You know what I mean. And this kind of moment, I speak with them a lot in very different environment. Not everybody is, of course, in the same environment, but I do speak a lot with women, and they tell me they're frustrated with themselves. And I just recognize that so much, because at this level, when you are moving this way, thinking that, it's gonna be better, and you see that's not, it's doing something with you instantly. You hide it as much as you can, deep down in every symptoms and every corner of your body. You hide it. You're not realizing that at that moment, but you're hiding it somewhere. And somehow, someday, it will come out. So they say things like, I know what to do until I don't. Do you feel that? I know what to do until I don't know. And that's maybe where you are now. You know what to do, but you don't know. You're just stuck. And you used to be so decisive. I mean, if somebody is talking about initiative, that's you. Because you are eager enough to reach. You have achieved so much, but yet you feel indecisive. There is something, And what about when they say to me, I don't recognize how hesitant I've become. I do not recognize, because you wasn't hesitant. That's not your core. That's not your essence. Your essence is not to be hesitant, but you are now. And you have to deal with it. But how? So what they rarely realize is why this hesitation has formed. So in toxic relationships, narcissistic and abusive relationship, personally, privately, or professionally, truth often becomes dangerous. And you know that truth becomes dangerous when you start feeling it in your gut. You get cramps, you get stress, and you feel the stress everywhere. And sometimes we got so far from by adapting ourselves that we don't even realize that our shoulders are like this the whole day. Relax. This episode is for you to relax these shoulders. We are going deep in it. We are going to make it work for you. I want to get you out of there. Okay? That's why I'm here. So through all this, you learned in these toxic relationships and environments, you learned that saying what you really think, how you feel, creates conflict instantly or afterwards. When you thought, okay, I've said what I've said. And then maybe hours later, maybe minutes later, or days or weeks later, months later, that got thrown to your face again. And there you are, going back to a situation where maybe you forgot even that it happened. But you're bringing it back negatively to you. Naming reality invites retaliation. The moment you start talking what's real, what's fact, what's happening, people got feelings, they got an action, but negatively against you in every way. I know you recognize this thing. Hey, you are living it. Maybe so deep now that you cannot even imagine that I'm telling you what you're going through, because I know this podcast is not for joking. This podcast is for real. I created this because I know what I'm talking about and I know where you are. And I want you to get out there. Not because I am, but because you want to. You don't deserve to stay there.